Testing one, two, three. Okay, guys, so I'm just testing this live broadcast and we will review it very, very soon. I think what I need to do is maybe minimize this so I can see your chat. And I'm gonna set this up now. So we'll start with the overall market update and then basically I will go through any action questions you guys have. Also today I will not be doing an end of day market update. Rather, I will just go through this update and yeah, we'll see how everything goes. So S&P 500, basically it's in the neutral zone. You can see now it's near the middle line. Um, Actually, let me just quickly hang for a second and see if everything is going as planned. Yeah, I think so. Should be going okay. Okay, so S&P 500, you can see it's near the neutral zone. So if I go to daily chart, if I hide these lines, you can see there's still room here to go. My target is here around 45.70, and you can see this is Fitch downgrade. Fitch downgrade from US. I think one of the agencies they downgraded, and then if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see what happened on futures. We had a gap down. So exactly gap down this day on 1st of August, and the entire month we are going down. So I think we're getting very close to that target here. So from here, from today's live market on futures, it's about 1.36% higher. Okay, so we can still go there. Also, I want to show you something. If I go to a weekly chart here, this is weekly chart, and let me get another indicator here. Let me get this 3 moving average F exponential, and let me bring NDX here. It's a bit slow. There you go. So you can see here, this is a weekly analysis of NDX. You can see every time we go between these green and red lines, price action goes here, gather synergy, go higher. Every time it touches weekly chart of NASDAQ, this is tech sector, always come closer to the green line, bounce, green line, bounce, and sometimes it comes go under the green line and touches red line, but a lot of times it just touches green line and then bounces. So it's quite possible in this bull market here, this might be it. And now we're heading for a new high. We could, if we get rejection here, let's quickly take a look what happens. So let's see. So week is almost about to end. So every time we go, we can go higher and then come back, but we don't go below this previous low, okay? So it is possible we can come back, but it can make a higher low in next couple of months. So September, October, we can come back, make a higher low and then bounce. So it's quite possible here also make a higher, you can see once we come back in this zone, once we gather energy, the low next time is always a higher low, okay? I don't think we ever go back and make a lower low. You can see even here, this low is before previous low, this low is before previous low. So it is possible this bottom is in, but we cannot rule out possibility of having another down, just touching green line and then bouncing again. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Again, going on daily chart, uh, getting rid of this indicator. Let's get moving averages in. And you can see now we are above all moving averages, and if we get any pullback that we can get, basically the pullback can be bought and then we're heading higher. So again, let's go to SPY and see how this is shaping up. So this is SPY. You can see SPY. If I hide this line, you can see it's now back testing this trend line. You can see support here, broke down, made a higher low, now coming for a back test here. So it's quite possible this is where we exactly were looking for resistance, and it did find resistance here, and we might be making a new low or maybe a higher low before we go high. That's quite possible. So this could be like a, we can put like a zone here. Let me see with the right tool, we can make something like this, right? We can make a support zone here. So even if we get a lower low, uh, we can go higher. Okay, so either we're going higher or we can make a new like a little bit of downwards pressure here, find support here and then go higher. Okay, so no matter how we go, the end result is going higher. So I'm going to make this a yellow line. So this is what I'm thinking is going to happen on S&P 500, and same thing on triple Qs. I think it's same thing. We are making a higher low here, and again, it's above this trend line, which is a very good news. And any downwards momentum or downwards pressure should be supported by buying. So if you get any downwards pressure here, that should be bought, and then we should be heading higher again. Okay, if you're not heading higher now, we can head higher later on. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So I'm going to make this green as well. And let's quickly look at gold. Gold, you can see right where I was thinking resistance will come. Finding resistance, we could get a little bit more sell-off, and then we're gonna go later on to a new high. Silver very nicely on support, support, support. Found support here again, and any pullback should be met by buying pressure. So I think silver is looking pretty all right. Let's quickly look at natural gas. Natural gas is on this trend line, very nicely holding this trend line. Any pullback should be met by buying pressure. And let's see, this is crude oil looking very bullish, but right where we should be finding resistance. It's right on this resistance trend line. So basically, you can see in the past as well how it was basically finding resistance here. So looks like we should be finding resistance before we go higher from here. Dollar again the same spot as crude oil, so looking for resistance here and going down. Bitcoin massive dump, and it was not able to cross above this EMA line. Oops, let me get this on here. Sorry, not the code. uh, yeah, here. And let me get this indicator back on. Oops, I got the wrong indicator. Give me a second. Yeah, the indicators. There you go. So support came back in the support zone, finding support, and again was not able to cross above this 200 EMA and 200 SMA, finding support here. Now let's see, it's back on this trend line. Hopefully it will hold it and then bounce. Ethereum also on this trend line. You can see resistance, broke out, support, and now coming back for support. And let's quickly look at what else is there. Let's look at commodities. Copper is by the dip, and we should be looking to buy all the dips in copper. Palladium, same thing, a lot of support area here, so any bouncers look to buy on the support. Wheat, same thing. Wheat is coming for a back test, so let me hide these EMA lines so that it's clear. You can see here bullish falling wedge broke out on this trend line, touch another now it's again back testing this trend line and looking for a bounce. Corn, again, corn is trying its best to go above this resistance area. Still not able to do that, but whenever it does, it's going to be a very explosive move. Soybeans, you should be it's coming back on the support trend line. You can see daily chart. If it comes back in this box, looks to buy. Sugar on the support trend line, support. Now in a little bit of resistance area, but this is where you should be looking to find support. Broke out. Now it's holding here nicely, so let's see if it can find support. So I'm looking for another explosive move on sugar. And Dow Jones, looks like this 1 hour gap is not filled. Uh, Let me hide these EMA lines so it's clear. Still not filled. So you can see this gap here. So let's see from here. There are two scenarios. The first scenario is we go down. Let me get the right tool. Go down, fill this gap, and then go higher. Okay, the second scenario is we from here we go higher and then fill this gap. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. Eventually, you're gonna go higher, and IWM Russell is holding this trend line, waiting for any touches on this trend line. Look to buy before next bounce. Gold miners, NEM. This is the biggest gold miner right on the support line. So look to buy off here. Gold miners. Looking for a little bit more weakness. There's a gap here, still not filled around 27, let's say 28. If it gets here, if this gap is filled, look to buy. That's going to be higher low, and then a bounce. And let's look at sectors. XLK gap up today and closed higher. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see this gap is still not closed. So any gap down tomorrow, or if it opens here, look to buy this. So I think still I'm bullish on tech. So any gaps, look to buy on this gap fill before going higher. XLE by the dip. Looks like it's heading higher. There's another gap around 91.28. XLV is very bearish. So I'm not sure right now what they want to do. Do they want to come all the way to this trend line? Let's see. So I'm not really clear on how healthcare is going to react. This is a very bearish candle. Looks like a rejection candle. So if it come down, look to buy on this trend line. XLU. Again, same thing. Looks like it's just consolidating here, but you can wait for this to go back on this trend line. Industrials also looks like it wants to come and fill this gap before going higher. So it can come back and then go higher. All right. Real estate sector, if it comes back on this trend line, look to buy. And then XLF, again, looks like all sectors other than tech looks like they're weak. So if they come back on this trend line, look to buy off this trend line. All right. And let's quickly look at VIX and see if there is anything. So VIX closed this gap as well. And then now there's one last gap left around 13.34. So tomorrow maybe non-farm payrolls are coming. So if things are good, payrolls are bad, like lower than people expected, then I think VIX is going to fill this gap. We'll get a rally in the morning, and then maybe next week we'll get a dump. We'll see how that comes out. Uh, let's look at tech stock, Apple. Still, this gap is not filled, so a little bit more higher upside left. Tesla looking very bullish. Looks like it wants to go to get this gap filled. Microsoft struggling to go above this trend line, but there are multiple gaps to fill. Google holding this trend line very nicely. So let's extend this trend line. So let's see, it's just any tags of this trend line. If it goes down, look to buy. Meta, same thing. I think we might have to make another trend line. This trend line broke. So I might have to adjust this trend line and make another trend line. So let's see if we can make something like this, right? Or something, we have to adjust this. So let's see if we can make something like this. Okay, let's go with that. Another secondary trend line. And yeah, Amazon also support here. And let's see if it can hold support here. So actually, I'm going to go with previous trend line. So it broke down. Let me do undo here. Yeah, here you go. Back on this trend line, looking bullish. So Amazon is also looking nice. Netflix also holding this trend line. Snowflake looks like it wants the multiple gaps to the top side. Looks like it wants to go and fill that. Nvidia near new all-time high. If it keeps going higher, it's going to burn through all this divergence. So let's see how it goes. AMD looking weak, but very close to the support. Any dumps near the support line should be looking to buy. All right. Hang Seng Index finding weakness where it should be. You can see this was support, now acting as a resistance. Toronto Stock Exchange, so 1 hour chart, you can see this gap is filled. So now let's see if it wants to go all the way down to fill this gap before it goes higher, or if it's ready to bounce right now. All right, guys. So again, S&P 500 looking for. So this looks like a little bit of rejection. So if you get a little bit of dip, look to buy before it goes higher, or it's ready to go higher again. Okay, guys. All right. I think that's it for today.